Hey YouTube, it is Trinity Productions, TrinityProSound.com, coming at you from the world headquarters of Trinity Production, just outside of Springfield, Missouri. And today we've got a FBT product. This is a active speaker that FBT USA, Italian Speaker Imports, has sent us. And we wanted to do a review on this. It's getting really good traction in the UK and some of those other areas over in Europe when it's coupled with a subline, either 12 or 15-inch sub. Makes just an extremely formidable little sound system. So today we're bringing you, as it shows up on the screen there, the Ventis 206A Active. And main applications for this speaker is band and PA, personal monitor, small theaters and auditoriums, piano bar and DJ, stage monitor, conference rooms, fixed installation in live clubs, pubs, gyms. I mean, the list kind of goes on. But what this is, fairly compact in size, but it is a two-way bi-amplified bass reflex design, bi-amped with a 700 watt RMS amplifier in the low frequency, 200 watts RMS in the high frequency. It has a DSP, which we'll get into. It has a 70-degree horizontal by 50-degree vertical rotatable horn. It's made of, it's showing 4/7 of an inch birch plywood. We'll look at that and see if that's just not 3/4. High efficiency switch mode power supply, and then on the back we've got an XLR jack, combo jack, RCAs, DSP with encoder, all of the above. But weight wise, it is 29 pounds, pretty solid construction. It does have FBT low frequency drivers in it, and it does have a B and C high frequency driver on the horn itself. The power on this thing is a PowerCon, and we'll get into that as well. But we've already taken a listen to this thing coupled with a FBT SUBLINE 12 that they had sent us, which is right down here, which we'll get hooked up, and we're going to be doing a video on that as well. As far as dimensions, the speaker is almost 8 inches wide, right around 10 inches deep, and 22 inches tall. So it's fairly compact. It does have a handle on the back of it. We'll get this flipped around here. Wanted to get it up a little bit and not on our turntable. So we've got a handle to carry it, DSP display here, master volume control here. We've got a link so that it is either a link or a mix out. Combo jack, RCAs on this as well. Does have a DSP menu on the thing. There is a fan in it, and then it's the PowerCon connector on the thing. But let's go ahead and get the PowerCon plugged in. And get this thing fired up. Fan comes on briefly, and the fan will not come on until it gets to the preset hot point, but it's fairly quiet to keep the amplifier cool. So with that, we can see that it is 0 dB as far as the volume, line input, so you can select line or mic on it. But if you press this, then this preset, you can hit enter again, and it has original live, it has a vocal preset, it has a DJ preset, it has a touring preset, has a loudness preset, warm preset, and then user presets 1 and 2. If we get out of that, we'll go back into original live. Location, so it has pole mount for a fill, wall mounted, an array. So we'll leave it on pole. does have a high pass that you can either set it to bypass, set it for an FBT subwoofer, 100 hertz, 110 hertz, 120 hertz, 130, 140, 150. We've got it in bypass. Then it's got an EQ mode. You can go in and set low, mid, and high EQ on it. Peak limiters, normal. You can only change those. Mic line, so you can set it for line or the sensitivity on it. We got it set for line. It's got delay built into it. And then it's got a service screen on it, which we'd have to dig into a little bit more to see what that's all about. You can lock the screen, set the contrast, turn the backlight on, reset info, and exit. So what I'm going to do real quick, though, is just kind of show you, since we don't have a camera kind of coming up super close on this, we'll go ahead and get into the video and show you again what. So you get into this, and then there's the presets. You can go locations, the high pass, you can set that. So you just hit that again. FBT subs, 100, 110, all the way up to 150. Equalizer, line in, delays. I mean, just quite a bit. Tells you the version of firmware it's running. You can reset everything if you've gone back in and played with it a little bit. You can go back to factory, and then we're back so that we're in pole mounted, original live, line input, and we're set at 0 dB. So nice compact little box. Being wood construction, we've already played with this thing. It's got some really good quality sound to it, but you don't get a whole lot of resonance out of this cabinet as you would with a injection molded or plastic box. So what we're going to do is get into this. We've got hardware down the sides of the grill to be able to pull the speakers, and then we've got the screws in the back to be able to pull the amplifiers or amplifier, and then we'll take a look at exactly what is comprising the amplifier and then the drivers inside this box. And then we'll also do a little bit of a measurement to see if we're really looking at 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch multi-layer wood on the thing. So it looks like it's a multi-layered plywood. I can see a little bit of that here, but we'll get into that and measure that just to make sure. But it is pretty stinking solid construction. So with that said, let's get it opened up. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll go ahead and get the grill opened up on this and look at the drivers, and then we'll pull the amplifier next. All Phillips type wood screws going into the side. Total of 8. So that just standard, you know, Phillips screwdriver, cross screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. Being these are going directly into wood and not into any kind of thread certs, we'll just be careful when we put them back in, not strip them out. So anyway, grill, pretty solid. I cannot bend it. Looks to be about 16 gauge as far as the material is concerned. Does have a nice nylon mesh that they put on the inside of it so that it hides all the drivers and everything, and it provides protection against bugs and dirt and everything else. So with that, now we've got the horn assembly shown. It is a plastic horn, and then we've got the two 6.5 inch drivers. And we'll probably just end up pulling one of those. So we'll go ahead and pull the bottom one. These are on machine screw thread certs, so that if you need to service the driver at any point, those screws can end up coming out. So speakers are wired in parallel. Go ahead and get these things pulled off and show you the driver. It is a FBT driver. It is a cast basket. Let's go ahead and get that up here and hopefully get this thing focused. It is on autofocus, but it just doesn't want to do it. There we go. So that is the driver itself, cast basket. It does have a ceramic magnet on it, and there is the FBT part number on the back of the unit. But just standard, you know, suspension on it. Does have a gasket on the back to seal up, so that when it goes back in the cabinet, that it seals up tightly and will not let any air or anything out around it. On the inside of the cabinet, we have got some, looks like egg crate foam for dampening material, and it goes all the way up to where, let's see here, all the way up to this port that is on the speaker, and then you can see the amplifier in there as well. But as far as construction-wise, it looks like it is 1/2-inch multi-layered wood. So not quite 3/4. I don't think they really needed to go to 3/4 for a cabinet this size, but because you're not really putting that much stress on it with 6.5-inch speakers. So, but the wiring is just on standard spade lugs, and we'll go ahead and get that back in, but we'll go ahead and pull the horn assembly so we can see what the BNC driver is on it as well. I'm imagining these are probably 8-ohm drivers. Nope, 16-ohm drivers is what I'm guessing, that are wired in parallel on this to present a 8-ohm load to the amplifier. But I don't have a whole lot of specs in the cut sheet to be able to support that. And I don't have a crossover point. So that's something as we run our noise through it, maybe we can determine kind of where a crossover point on that driver is going to be. My guess is going to be 1.4, 1.6. All four back in. Let's go ahead and pull the high frequency out. Again, these are on machine screws. And down on the floor it went, but at least we saw where it went. Okay. And this thing is, there we go. Does have a gasket on it. So blue goes to positive. Black is negative. So we look back in there and you can kind of see there's no dampening material or anything there around the high frequency driver. But it is on thread certs, plastic, and then nothing really to reveal a model number. It does have a serial number on it. It says a 6575, and maybe that is our model number. See if we can't get this stinking thing to focus again. Just blows me away that, there we go. Got to get a face in there and then it'll do it. So there's the plus and minus, what I'm assuming is a part number, serial number, plastic. Again, tis a ceramic magnet on there. There we go, autofocus. Gosh, get my ugly face out of there. But you know, pretty decent as far as the weight of the driver is concerned. I'm not going to take the driver off the horn assembly, but looks to have, I think they said, a 1.4-inch voice coil with a 1-inch exit on this particular horn. Does have a gasket on the back of it to seal it up so that everything that comes out the port should come out the port and not around the speakers. So we'll go ahead and get this back in, plus going to blue, black going to the obvious connection. Hard to get that screwed up. I mean, you know, overall, with what this speaker is, I mean, a lot of the magic and everything that is done in the DSP and the amplifier. Got to be careful with those that we don't break the horn corners. And just cinch them down to kiss the edges of the horn. But that is the drivers and what makes this particular Ventis 206A go. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and get the grill back on, and we'll flip it around and take the amplifier out and take a peek at the amp and what all that looks like. And then we'll get into really the magic part about this and get some noise put through it. And then what we'll do, as we've done with some of the other more current videos, is that we are going to do a segment of playing audio through it with the standard YouTube songs. And then we'll also do a segment and put the link in the video into our Dropbox, where you can end up listening to it where it is recorded with current, you know, songs, hits, that kind of stuff through the Zoom recorder, sampled at 96 kilohertz. So you get a better idea of what the speaker sounds like. It's always better to listen. When we do this with headphones on, you'll really hear quite a difference in what the audio quality is all about when it's sampled correctly and has a decent recording behind it, and we're not using squashed MP3 files. Because that's basically what all the YouTube audio is. And it just is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yesterday we were playing this hooked up with the FBT sub that I've got down here, the 12-inch in their subline. And we've got a little over 4,000 square feet in the warehouse. And this thing just, if we had people in here for the 4,000 square feet and did a little bit of a concert band or something, you know, a little acoustical set with the subs and two of these, could have blown people away. I mean, just amazing. I mean, for setting up, you know, corporate events, things like that, even just small, you know, a bar or something. I mean, the sound out of this thing is really quite remarkable too. Very smooth, not harsh at all. And again, like I said, coupled to a subwoofer to be able to extend the low frequency in either music playback or a live band situation, whether it's a 12, 15. I think an 18 may outrun this, but You can always do that because the 18s are going to give you a much better lower end and lower end response. But it's just going to be less portable than a 12 or a 15 would if you're going into an event by yourself, setting up for sound. So let's go ahead and get this guy flipped around. Machine screws on the back on the amplifier. It does have a TrueCon loop out, so if you needed to go to another speaker with a TrueCon jumper, you can do that. They do make yoke brackets to be able to put these on so that you can lay them down horizontal, rotate the horn as you would need to if you were doing a permanent install with them as well. There is a pole socket on the bottom, which we'll get to here. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a helper to get that out. Maybe. All the screws are out. There we go. Pretty sweet. So plus and minus. We'll go ahead and pull the high frequency. Plus and minus on the low frequency. And the amplifier is completely encapsulated in a heatsink. So we're really not going to get into it. We could, but we won't. It just, well, maybe we will. So we did get the amplifier opened. Took a little bit to figure out how they really put this thing together, but it was quite complex with the screws and the way everything went in, but we got it open. I did have to open it because I took a couple of screws out on the sides which held in the heat sinks over the amplifier transistors, and they dropped down into the thing, and I had to get them out. So anyway, amplifier board. Better yet, we'll get in close with some iPhone video. So here we are, amplifier module. Those are the high frequency, low frequency power transistors, the power coil. Capacitors are of a decent size for inrush and storage. Power supply section down there, switch mode power supply. Looks like there's a jumper down in there that can be possibly pulled to make it European voltage. But the DSP then plugs into that socket there, and we'll go over and take a look at the DSP board. So we do have the display and the inputs and the encoder knobs and volume controls and everything on the DSP board, back of it, and then just a little tiny fan for cooling that will circulate air through it. Lots of little hardware and screws, little gasket that goes around the XLR jacks on the back of it. But massive heat sink. The whole thing is pretty much a heat sink because it's tied in here, holding that and compressing that down so that the amplifier modules will dissipate that heat, and this aluminum housing and casting will then end up, let's get back on camera here. This housing and casting ends up being a kind of a formidable heat sink. I don't know if that's going to stand up. To be able to keep the thing fairly cool and probably let the fan come on only when it really kind of needs to. But overall, you know, good construction on the thing. I'd like to see the capacitors and power coils just a little bit bigger, but for what it is and the power that it's running, and it's not punching out a whole lot of deep bass low end like a subwoofer would, those are probably more than ample as far as the amplifier is concerned. To get this thing back together, it's just a matter of getting the DSP board plugged back in. And it's just held down with 3 screws. So we'll make sure that our alignment is good on that. Okay, back together, no leftover parts. So we're going to go ahead and get the knobs back on. All good. So now it's just a matter of hooking up plus and minus. Okay, let's make sure it works. Okay, so we've got everything up and running, speaker works, all is good. We've got the iPad now set up here that we can end up running some noise through it, and so we'll run some noise through it and maybe, I don't know, a preset or 2 on the thing, but the presets really are going to end up being for listening to music. And what we'll do is do our standard YouTube stuff that will be posted with this video. And then we'll also put a link down in the description to a link in our Dropbox that will have the Zoom recorder going. And we'll do some popular stuff that's on our sound system test playlist and run through that. So kind of without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get some noise generated on this thing, take a look at the response of this FBT speaker, and get her going. And this is just going to be just the top box. We're not going to have any subwoofer or anything like that going with it, just full range. The volume is, or sensitivity is set to 0 dB. We are plugged in now. Volume is down. So we're going to go ahead and turn on peak noise. We are generating. And the preset that we're starting with is Original Live. So, as you can see, we are getting a little bit of content down into the 50 range according to the frequency response chart. Let's get back on camera here. According to the frequency response chart, 70 to 20,000. So that's kind of what we're seeing with this. We'll go ahead and turn the volume back down, hopefully, one place or another here. But as you can see, we've got a little bit more. Let's go ahead and we'll freeze that. So as you can see, we've got a little bit more content down from probably around 100 all the way up to almost 2K. Then it drops off a little bit as far as dB levels. So we're looking at dBSPL about a 5 dB difference from that range all the way up, and it may just be from where we've got the mic aimed on this thing, we're going to go ahead and get the microphone raised up just a little bit here and go back in and fire that thing back up. So we're rolling again. So I think that was kind of our issue, that we weren't kind of positioned correctly. So now we're within about a dB, 2 dB, as you can see. You know, we're punching up here around 250, a little bit above 90 dB. That's reaching 90. So, but as far as the exciting of the curve, you know, and with the spectrograph, you know, you can kind of see that we've got fairly decent coverage all the way throughout the that band. So what we're going to do now, we'll take a look at some of these other presets. This is a vocal, they have vocal and DJ and touring and loudness and warm. So I'm sure the vocal preset is going to drop out the low end. DJ, let's go ahead and set that. That's probably going to give us a little bit of a low end boost. So let's get this recording again. So maybe a little bit more of excitement down in the low end down here. Looks like it may have tapered off the high end a little bit on that. Now let's go ahead and we'll get into loudness. We know is going to end up increasing the low end. Now we're in the touring preset. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling again. I'm not seeing a whole lot of change from the initial preset that we started out with. And so let's go in and do one more, which they call warm, which I'm sure is going to taper off some of the high frequency. Get this recording. So as I had thought, that ends up dropping down the high end from about almost 2K on up, about 10 dB. So it'll end up taking off some of the harshness or sibilance a little bit and essentially warm up, you know, a vocal, you know, talking head kind of event or something like that. So, but, you know, fairly flat. You know, if we look at that original live preset that we'll go back to now. And it is set for pole mount. As far as the location, which is going to have something to do also with the intended frequency response, whether it's wall mounted or whether it's in a fill scenario probably tapering off some of the low end in the box. But let's go ahead, look at the original setting once again. We'll get this rolling. So again, you know, within a few dB of each other, as you know, across the spectrum, as stated in their literature, starting at around 70. So, you know, very smooth little speaker. With a pair of these things and coupled to a sub, or just a pair of these things doing a talking head event, gosh, you know, corporate event or something like that, you could end up, you know, covering things really quite well. But nice, sleek little design cabinet, and very good construction, good quality sound out of the thing, great amplifier that they have and typically used in most of the FBT series speakers. So what we're going to do now is go ahead, get some YouTube audio set up so that photobombed. We can end up getting the music portion of things going, and then we'll get the Zoom recorder set up as well, so that we can end up taking a listen. We'll have the Zoom recorder on for the YouTube stuff as well, but that portion where we're going to do known popular music, we'll end up, like I said, putting that link in the video down below and direct you over to Dropbox that you can put some headphones on and listen to what this puppy's really doing. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get some music rolling. Okay, we've got everything set up. Gonna leave the spectrograph going. Got the YouTube stuff started here. We're gonna start out with our signature song that we typically run. Got the Zoom recorder going. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we've got, you know, pretty much full spectrum going, not a whole lot of low end in that one. Let's see here. You can see we're producing about 110, 12 dB and no breakup. And let's find one more. clear audio, no breakup on it, not too harsh at all, and I'm, 3-4 feet away from it. But producing, acceptable SPLs on this box. And so, you start doing some of the extrapolation and getting out, and it's like, it's got more than enough to do any kind of corporate event, any kind of small bar, small little outdoor gigs. So anyway, this is the portion where we're going to run some known stuff through it off of our playlist that we use for setting up live and doing some tuning and stuff. So we'll go ahead and get into that, redirect you down to the link below, and we'll go from there. As I've been listening and noticing the dispersion on this thing, let's see what the specs say. And boop, says it's 70 by 50. No, it is at least 90 and over that. So, I mean, I'm, over here with the iPad standing off, quite a ways, and I'm still getting really good high frequency coverage and coverage out of this that, it drops off a little bit from coming back in front of it. But as far as dispersion is concerned, it surpasses the specifications as far as the horizontal coverage of this speaker. So anyway, with that said, gosh, if you have any more questions, reach out to us in the comments on this. Again, this is the Ventis 206A active. It 6.5 inch by 2, and then a 1 inch exit, 1.4 inch voice coil high frequency driver on the thing, and 70 by 50 horn. But gosh, it just does everything that it says it is supposed to and a little bit more. So gosh, I'd like to certainly thank you for watching the video and hanging in there. We've got some more. We've got a Canto speaker coming, and then we've also got the the 1112 SA subwoofer that I've got down below me, and then we've got another column speaker that I can't remember the model number from FBT that we're going to end up doing as well, a little bit bigger than this height-wise and drivers and everything. So stay tuned. We got more videos coming from FBT. So again, thank you for joining us. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. That always helps. We'll put pricing down in here on these guys, MAP and MSRP, and let you take a look at that. They are available to ship. So give us a shout out and we can hook you up with a pair of these, or 10 or 20, whatever you want to do. And again, thanks for watching. FBT Ventis 206A. Trinity Productions, trinityprosound.com. Reach out to us, 209-832-8023, or email us, info@trinityprosound. Thanks again for watching.